Hello people, my name is Solon and welcome to my third Satisfactory video. Last time I was working on my plastic issue. I said I had finished that building, but I've done quite a bit more work, entirely decorative. And I love the way some of this came out. So I added a little bit of a barnyard arch over this front part. And just played around with stuff for this back portion. I felt these were just exposed a little bit, so I added some more purple light and a little bit of an enclosure. Like I said, it's very much just for the design. I think it adds a bit, makes it look a little more detailed and completed. Now we also have a new branch of the road where I just copied the pattern I had here, expanded this way, like down in between the two train tracks, right over the water. And this is going to take us to where we're working next. Alright, so what is this place? And this is where we are work in progress now. So this is what I've most recently done, so we'll start here. What do you think of this pattern? I just about half an hour ago got this figured out and built here, and I don't know how I'm going to use it yet, but I need this top area is going to be for assemblers mainly, and some foundries for aluminum, because we're going to be making more of that. These blenders are actually the final step of everything, so let's start at the train station, which you saw me start last time, but now look at cleanly brought down, and now this nitrogen is going to be used for later in these blenders. While I use the sulfur and bauxite, I just mix it with water. I mix both of them with water using the sloppy. Oh, thank you for the bauxite. I've got these three running the sloppy alumina recipe, which just is going to use a ton of stuff, but you get so much out of those three. And then the next 5 are all sulfuric acid. I don't know how I'm going to clock these yet. That's just how I've got it set. Alright, now that the sun has risen, these are the water extractors. So I've got 4 of them, 2 groups of 4. These are going to feed the pipes that are going to feed my refineries. So in these refineries, we've got 3 of them that are going to be making the alumina. I'm using sloppy alumina because then I can just mix it with water, which makes this whole setup super simple to just pump water straight down, mix it with both alumina and sulfur. And so I'm going to have those 2 outputs in this pipe bus over here. Now this just wraps around from the back. I crisscross them to get them into order because later on I think I decided I wanted this one on the right. We've got some nice overkill fancy supports in the middle again, just as we like it. And I'm liking the way this little area is coming together, filled with activity. So this here, as I said, I've spent a lot of time. Can you see why? These constructors are water cooled. I didn't need to do this, but it looks cool. I didn't think it would look this cool, but I kind of like this. I'm digging it. Lots of cool reflections, colors. So, got all of the inputs, outputs set around it. I've got the quartz coming in. Just got these to set up. Those are going to be making both the casings here, as well as the silica that I'm going to use to make those casings, or rather the aluminum to make them. That's all going to be made above here. So all of that stuff is going to be moving over to this building here. This is where most of the production is going to take place, besides the constructors, which are in my little aquatic center. So this is actually my first time using blenders, but I love how they look. I'm so excited to use them. I've definitely got to have some sort of walkway going around here. But lots to still be figured out. So up here, I'll figure out a way to make it look nice and lay them out, but we're going to have assemblers mainly, and we've got to create The aluminum, I've got to use the foundries as well. I think I've got everything I need. I've got resources there ready to be used. I've got resources over here ready to be used. Kind of made a new conveyor bus, but I'm just adding things on along the way. And it goes over and these two towers connect now. I've just kind of got to connect it all up and see if I have enough space left for myself. I hope I did. Expanded a little more than I expected it to. But this is the center area where I'm going to run the final produce items. So now you at least kind of see what I've got working. You see what I'm working towards, what I've got in mind. So I'm going to see where I can get this, and then you're going to see where I got this. I might actually be onto something. We are definitely making progress now. This floor here is that shape you saw before. I kind of decided to just use it to have the 4 different supports all converging in the middle. And this down here is still where the blenders are going to be. They should have plenty of room, I hope. I love this. I love the way this looks. I think it turned out real nice. Took those belts that I needed, brought them over here, and they're all going to run into there. Now this is the next step. I gotta decide how to bring these from this floor up here without standing out. So this top diamond or square, if I can get up to it, this is where I'm going to build the rest of the aluminum production. So I just need a couple refineries, couple foundries. And that should fit up here. And that is what we're going to be working on next. We have progressed even further. So I've had to add a few different elevators. I couldn't really make them fit naturally, so I just had to build around them. I ended up rebuilding this quite a bit, actually. I spread them all out evenly and I rearranged them just for ease, but they all come up all the way with the power. And now I've made the next aluminum setup. Look at how nice this looks. I love it. Very nice and compacted. So I'm already producing the alumina down there. That comes up with the coal, and I'm going to use these two to fuel these with scrap, which are all being fueled with silica made down below in the water cooling area. And then that will be sent down to make the casings, which are also sent back up here then to produce these alternate heat sinks, the exchangers actually. And then those, along with the water produced, is going to come down this one on the far side. And this, I'm going to run this over here, and that's where I'm going to use the wet concrete just to get rid of all of that. And I'm just going to sink all that concrete probably. These heat sinks then are going to run into these blenders down here, which I haven't built it up yet, because these are going to be the last thing. I'm still making everything. I've got it all set up. I got some power lines set, but I haven't powered anything yet. I want to get it all hooked up. I need to decide what color the lights should be. What the theme for this one is. But it definitely needs some light. I bet it gets really dark when the sun goes away, that's for sure. So I'm going to extend this just a bit to sink some of that concrete. And then we're going to figure out the connections for these blenders, because that is still the difficult part. We've got some blenders running now. I have finished automating everything I needed to, and we are now making both the batteries as well as our cooling systems. So I finished off the top of this building, and now I have extended the road. So this is where I plan to build next back there. The last part of this project is to send the batteries to a big drone tower that I want to build. It'll look a lot less busy than the area here. But finished the wet concrete sink so that the water never backs up. That's what this pipe is for. And I did the same kind of like half pipe with the wall. I love the way the water looks. Makes it look very nice. And of course, speaking of water, our water-cooled machines are running. And oh, is it working out. So I had to rearrange all of this again, but it's in its final state. Got a nice area of jumbled goodness. And everything's working. I made it with the space I had. I've got just a temporary storage out here. I'm collecting them up. I got a sink I can turn on if I need to. But these are going to be very useful. Very useful. Wow. I did not expect it to look like that when I started. Oh, I love it though. I like the different sections, different buildings. This added on to the city feel for sure. Now I also managed to get myself up to over 100 of the tickets, which means I can build another one of these cages or stands or whatever I want to call them. Maybe I think I'll hijack this car actually. And oh look, my things. Like I said, I'll make my drone port here, and then that'll be as far back, and then we're going to start going that way. That'll kind of round us out. The roof section. Oh, also, I will have plenty of concrete for the rest of forever. So that's a plus. We're going to run up for a good view. Go, go. There we were, off by the canyons. Now here, this is kind of what I want to feel as the center. This is the central station, as I said. So past the power, I still have to finish that. I definitely got to put work into that. Oh, well, we've got all this room here where I'm going to put some stuff next. So as far as it'll let me go out there until I start taking a border damage. That completes the projects that I had on my to-do list. Give me your thoughts. What you think of some of these designs. But thank you so much for watching, and you have a good one. How are you in there? Secure, contain, protect.